All right, I'm back, and I want to make sure that we get through our slides or we get through this discussion. But when I started Ageless Blueprint, I was like, okay, I want to talk about longevity. Thought I was going to be talking about a lot about peptides and stem cells and all this, and we're going to do all of that, okay? And if that's what you want, I think that's all a part of it. Just like getting your hormones straight. If you don't have your hormones straight, you're not going to be able to meditate because you're not going to be able to control your mind because your hormones are controlling your mind, and those hormones of stress are controlling your mind. So you got to get your hormones right. You got to get that stress connection right. Then we can go into the meditation and all that. So we're going to work on the body, but really where the value is working on your mind, okay, and reconnecting. So we're going to start with the body because that's what people are used to. They're used to this 3D world, but you got to move on up. You got to move up the ladder. All right. So let's go to the next slide. All right. Now, this is what has changed my life is understanding how to meditate and if I'm doing it right. I just had a patient, I was telling them about meditation. He said, yeah, I tried to meditate, but I don't know if I'm doing it right. I understand. I told you when I first started this 6, 7, 8 months ago, 2 minutes, I'm thinking about, hey, I need to drink another cup of coffee. I need to, whatever. All right. So I did this program called Declutter the Mind. It was 30 days of mindfulness meditation. First, you start out trying to do 5 minutes and then 10 minutes and 15 minutes. So, anyway, so what you do is you put the headband on, you connect it to an app, and you can listen to their guided meditation, or you can do your own. I actually recorded myself doing a meditation, and that's what I did this morning. So what I want to show you is that I had 87 birds. So you see this? This means that my mind was quiet this whole time. We see all these blue birds here. So this is when I was coming out. You see this yellow star. So I had two recoveries. This takes a lot of practice to be able to calm your mind for 20 minutes. And it also looks at your cognitive performance. Yesterday, I was a little tired. I did my meditation a little bit too late in the morning. You want to do it in the first hour or two when you wake up, because that gets you set for the rest of the day. But you see, my cognitive performance goes up. The earlier I do it, it's because I have less other things on my mind. All right. I I 100% say this is worth it. You can go to www.choosemuse.com/ageless. You get 20% off. But this is essential if you want to learn how to meditate and you want to practice it. I do it every day. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes. When I really can really get into it, I do 30 minutes. And 30 minutes isn't hard anymore when I was doing 2, 3 hours with Joe Dispenza. So, and you do begin to fall in love with feeling that feeling of calmness. And that's when you get the clarity. That's when the GPS system is telling you, hey, this is what you need to do today. All right. So choose music. I think I had that on here. So we talked about the beta, about the brain states and meditation. This is where you want to live, is in this alpha state, relaxed awareness, the bridge between the subconscious and the conscious. Creativity begins to flow as mental chatter quiets. That's where you want to be in the morning. That's where you want to be all day. All right. This is when you want to introduce new things into your subconscious. Okay. Access to the subconscious mind is here. So, first thing in the morning and last thing at night, you should go over the characteristics of who you want to be. Okay. You should go over those characteristics that you want to be this type of person. That's when you say your affirmations. That's when you visualize your future immediately when you wake up and right before you go to bed. Now, this is the goal. This is when what they call connecting to source, and source is the field. So let me tell you this interesting thing. So back in the 1940s, this doc, he was looking at electromagnetic fields. If you don't understand it, anything that has a charge has an electromagnetic field. And we know we have a charge because we do EKGs and we do brain waves. We emit electricity. Anything that emits electricity has an electromagnetic field. All right. What was thought is that the body creates the field. Well, this guy looked at magnetic fields of people who had uterine cancer. And all the people who had uterine cancer had a certain electromagnetic field. Now, he also saw this same electromagnetic field on these women who didn't have uterine cancer, but they all ended up having uterine cancer eventually because they had this electromagnetic field. So here's what I got from Joe Dispenza. We think that this creates the field, but the field actually creates matter. Matter does not create the field. The electromagnetic field creates the matter. That electromagnetic field created uterine cancer in that person. So the thought is if you can change the energy in the field, you can change matter. So how do you change the energy in the field? Your thoughts, because we saw the EEG, it had an electrical charge. We were looking at those brain waves. The heart, it has an electromagnetic field, right? Because we do EKGs. So the way you change the field is by your thoughts and the feelings coming from your heart. If you think health and you feel health, that field changes and that changes the matter. Now, again, you have to be open-minded to even grasp that concept. But the basic concept is that we are all energy. Everything is made out of energy, and energy has endless possibilities. Just think, if we're all energy, that's how we can all be different because you can reshape and you can condense that energy in all different forms. The trees, how do they grow so tall? Is that they have a certain frequency and energy, and that energy comes from the earth, it comes from the sun, it comes from all around us. And again, some people may not be able to accept this, but this is quantum physics. This is science, okay? So you have to change the energy in your field with your thoughts and your feelings, and then this matter will change or can change. So when you're in that gamma state, you have coherence between your heart and your brain. And whenever you have two wavelengths that are in the same frequency, they expand, they get bigger. So the gamma waves are bigger than the alpha waves and the theta waves because they're all coherent and they're focused on one outcome. And it can be healing, it can be abundance, it can be peace, it can be love, it can be joy. But whatever you send out into the field, that's what will eventually become matter. Just like the people had the energy field of uterine cancer, and then the body responded to that. So your body responds to the field. I was trying to treat matter, with the pill, with the potion, and I still do that. But if you want to go into deep healing, you have to change the energy in the field. And again, I hesitate to say some of this because it's going to go right above somebody's head, but somebody is going to hear this and it's hopefully going to change how they think about themselves and they think about the world around them. All right. So starting your practice, I would tell you this is my sacred space. This is my extra bedroom. I get up early. My wife, she's still asleep, and I come down here. This is where I learn. This is where I meditate. This is where I connect. This is where I think about what I want to do for my podcast. What do I? This is my sacred space. So I would tell you to find a sacred space. Okay. And it's so sacred that I was like, I just blur the background so I can be where I feel like I meet the source. All right. So you find a quiet area. You find a comfortable seat. I bought this seat. It has a headrest. It has everything. And you want to, you can either be on a cushion or whatever, but you want to find where you're comfortable. And then the key is anchoring your breath is the best way to stay present is to focus on your breathing. And breath work is important. There's different types of breath work. There's breath works to synchronize different both sides of your